Hi, everyone. Thank you for logging on to Speech with Allie. It has been a couple weeks since I have been able to put a video together for you all. My friends at Swift River School have been very, very busy meeting with me on video calls and doing some speech therapy in lots of different ways on the phone. We've been putting together packets that we've been sending home. So my students have been super busy. If you're one of my students, thank you for working so hard and keeping up with all of your work and making sure that you find time to talk to your teachers. If you're not one of my students, thank you so much for tuning into this video and taking some time to watch and do some work with us today. Today I have a very sweet little story that I wrote all about Charlie. We're going to be doing a little bit of rhyming practice. I want you guys to pay attention and think about some of the words that I choose and why they are good rhymers in this story. I would like you to also think about some other things you might know about Charlie and other things that I could have added in that maybe I didn't, or maybe we need to write another story together about him. This story is called Waiting for Friday. Now, if you know Charlie and you know about what we do at school, I want you to stop and take a moment to think about why Waiting for Friday might be a good title for my story. Pause the video if you have a moment, or if you're with a grown up or someone else from Swift River School that might have some information about Charlie, and share your ideas about why this might be a good title. If you do not go to our school, you might be wondering, what's so special about Friday? Well, on Fridays, Charlie comes to visit school and he spends the whole day at school with the kids. He also comes on Mondays, but that's a little bit more of a new thing for him to be doing. But ever since Charlie was about 6 months old, he has been training to be a therapy dog, and he has come to school with me and spent the day in my office and spending time with children and teachers at the school. He spends most of his time in my room, but sometimes he visits other classrooms and kids come in and visit him. And it's very special and it's really fun. So, Waiting for Friday, we thought would be a good title because Charlie spends his week hoping and wishing that it will be that special day that he gets to go to school. So let's get started. Good morning, my friends. How have you been? From a lot to a little, I miss you a 10. Now, before I go on, I want you to look through the page and see if you can find the words that rhyme. Many of you ask what I do all week. When I'm not at school, I miss you, and I play and jump and squeak. I love to leave my toys in lots of different places. My favorites are the ones with the very cute faces. And here's a picture of Charlie. Now, if you're listening in, another good way to incorporate some more practice is to look at the pictures and take a moment and describe what you see. So this is really a fun picture, and if you know Charlie, you know, or I've at least told you, that he picks up all of his toys and puts them all over the house. You can see his little toy box behind him that's totally empty. He loves to empty it out and make sure he has a toy in every room in the house so that when he moves around, he has a toy up there for him. Sometimes he picks them all up and puts them all around his bed, and he's surrounded by all of his favorite toys. So it's very cute. So you can take a moment and look at the picture and maybe make up one or two sentences that go with the picture. So pause the video as we go and think about rhyming words and think about describing and making sentences about the pictures, okay? When I'm done playing with my toys, a comfy spot is where I stay. There I rest, cozy and warm, thinking about Friday. So what might you say about this picture? Also, it's really fun to try and think about what Charlie might be thinking. So if you look at this picture, what might he be thinking or feeling while he's laying on the bed? And maybe you're wondering what I do next. There's something I always choose. I find a new spot, cozy and warm, and there I take a snooze. Are you noticing any patterns about what Charlie does during his day? Now, something else that's important when we're thinking about rhyming words is to not pay too much attention to the spelling of the words and what the words look like. We really need to use our ears and listen to the sounds to find the rhyming words. The rhyming words will have different beginning sounds, but they'll sound the same at the end. The words for this page are choose and snooze. It's hard to believe, but I need this much rest. So when I see you kids, I can be at my best. What can you say about this picture of Charlie? Now, if you notice throughout the book and all the pictures that I've chosen to put in, he looks a little different. Charlie is a golden doodle, which means he's part golden retriever and part poodle. So he needs lots and lots of haircuts. And if you're one of my students, you have seen and pet him when he's very, very fluffy and ready to get a haircut. And you've also seen him when he is shaved, like in this picture, and has just been to the groomer. You guessed it. Next, I need to sleep a little more. Sometimes my mom says she even hears me snore. And sometimes I remember when I was a little pup. Together we have learned and played, and we have all grown up. I didn't know how much fun I would have living here in this way, and I never knew how much I would love waiting for Friday. Do you notice something different about Charlie in this picture? In this one, he is about 4 months old. So soon after this, he started coming to school, and he still looked pretty small. We got Charlie from a family in Ohio that needed to find him a new home, and we live in Massachusetts, so one day we decided to drive all the way to Ohio and pick him up. Now that I am almost 3, I have learned a lot from the kids around me. They help me sit, lay down, and stay. They even make me treats. He is so cute, they say. And if you look closely, you'll see that there are all doggy treats with labels Charlie Chews. And Charlie's friends at school made these for him one year. And we shared them to people at school that have dogs at home. Charlie thought they were very delicious. Most of you will understand, but some of you may not. Friday is the most special day. It's the one I love a lot. On Fridays, Mom says those magical words, the ones that I have learned. She says, "Do you want to see the kids?" Yes, for this I have yearned. What do you think Charlie's thinking in this picture? I love to see you all at school. You pet me and love me and teach me the rules. Mom says I can't walk out the door, but sometimes I just need a little more time with you all. And I have to say, my favorite thing is waiting for Friday. And you all know that Charlie does a very good job of staying in my room, even when the door is open. But once in a while, he decides to go on an adventure out into the hallway, and we have to call him back. So that's the end of our story, you guys. And I want you to think about some questions. So in the beginning, we thought about why it might be a good title, and I gave you some information about that. But also when we read stories, it's really good to kind of think back and remember some of the details. So do you remember anything that Charlie likes to do? Could you remember what I may have talked about in the beginning of the story? And what kind of toys does Charlie like best? Why does he love Friday? What do you think? Is there information from the story that helps you to figure out why Charlie might like Friday so much? Do you remember when Charlie first started coming to school as a puppy? How were you feeling when we found out that there would be a dog at school? And what have you learned from Charlie? He has learned very much from coming to school and seeing you all. What are some things that you have learned from him or about him now that he has been coming to our school for kind of a long time? And then if you go back, these are the rhyming words. So it will be really helpful if you read through the list and listen to the sounds and see if you can figure out which sound changes and which sound stays the same. So for our first one, Ben 10. These words rhyme because they sound the same at the end. N. The sound that changes is the first sound. Ben starts with B and 10 starts with T. Can you think of another word that rhymes with Ben and 10? Change the first sound and see what you come up with. Go through the list and practice some rhyming. You can go back through the story and think about the pictures, or go back through the story and answer some of the questions. If you want, I would love for you to make up a story about Charlie or maybe your own pets and share it with me. And we can think about and get to know each other's pets at home. You guys know a lot about Charlie, but I would love to know more about your animals or your family at home. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you comment or reach out to me with any questions, or to share your stories and to share your sentences about Charlie, or just to let me know what you've been doing. I miss you all very much, and I am excited to hear from you. Thank you.